All right, guys, so it's Thursday night. Let's get into the data dump. So what I'm looking at this week is just the S&P 500 matching ETF, the SPY, right? Okay, so no major earnings, no major economic news this week, even though there was a blip yesterday. That really wasn't major news. So because of that, what am I looking at? This all-time high right here. What was happening in the market when the market hit an all-time high? Nvidia was at an all-time high. Amazon was at an all-time high. Questions about Apple had kind of been answered in China. Apple was moving back up. If that's not the case right now, then how did we get back to this all-time high? So right now, the entire market is moving, and that's what everybody's been calling the breadth thrust. That just means that all the stocks across the every sector, so all 7,000 publicly traded companies on the stock market are moving in lockstep. They're moving up. But a lot of the earnings, a lot of the economic news that we've been getting hasn't really been painting such a rosy picture for small businesses and smaller companies. So a lot of this is just trade momentum. Now that we've made it back to this all-time high up here, everyone that bought up here can sell. So as you see right here, we made it back up here, and now we have this big selling candle. You had this big sell candle right here when there was pressures from the Japan Kiri trade blow up. You had it return more or less to a baseline average, and now we're starting to see sell volume tick up just a little bit. So what we're looking at, could we get back to the 50-day moving average? Quite possibly. 545, quite possibly 545 could be coming. We also see that the 20-day moving average is below the 50-day. That's a death cross. That's bearish momentum. A lot of that had to do with this right here, this fall right here, but that doesn't mean that we can't get back down here and retest these lows. If we get good news from Nvidia next week, we can test these lows and break out to new highs. If we get bad news from Nvidia next week, we could retest these lows and potentially come down to this 200-day moving average at 506, 505. Even worse than that, we could retest 495, the lows for the year, before trying to go back and reclaim all-time highs at the end of this year and into next year. So keep your eyes on the market. I wouldn't be jumping into any trades right now. I wouldn't be jumping into any investments right now. Let's wait and see what comes after Nvidia.